I recently purchased for me and my Nikon Zf the new Viltrox 85mm F2.0 EVO. And if you didn't know, this is the first lens of the EVO series that Viltrox launched a few months ago. I don't recall how many, but it doesn't matter. But this is not the first EVO lens that I review on this channel, because a couple of weeks ago I reviewed the 35mm f1.8 EVO Apple, and you'll find the video over here. Now, besides the fact that the 85 is not an apochromatic lens, the overall take on the lens is going to be very similar to that of the 35mm f1.8. And it's going to be actually even better than that, because I was enthusiastic about the 35. This lens comes way cheaper than the 35. It's actually the cheapest lens of the EVO series. And so, given the results that we're going to discover together in this video, this lens is going to be even more interesting than all the others in the EVO series. But more on that later. From a construction standpoint, this lens has everything you can possibly ask and then some. It's very well built, it's relatively compact and relatively lightweight. It weighs 360 grams in the Nikon mount, it's 20 grams less in the Sony mount. I don't know how much it's going to weigh on the L mount, because it's going to come at some point since Viltrox joined the L mount, but that's besides the point of this video. But overall, it's built really well, and it's got a lot of features, all the features that you find on the Pro series, and basically all the features that you find also in the Lab series, which is their top of the line when it comes to prime lenses. This lens has an aperture ring that you can also declick with a switch on the side of the lens. You have an autofocus manual focus switch, and you have a customizable function button together with, of course, a manual focus ring, which I never use and I never talk about, so there's that. And on the back of the lens, you have a USB-C port, a metal mount, and a gasket to prevent water from infiltrating between the camera and the lens. Now, while this is not as weather sealed as the top of the line lenses, the Pro and the Lab in the Viltrox lineup, this is still a very well built lens, and it's got that gasket, so it gives you that reassurance that unless you really get caught in pouring rain, you can use this lens without any issue. And in general, despite not being feathery and despite not being super compact, this is still fairly compact. And even with the camera without a grip like the ZF, I didn't feel the combination to be too front heavy. Actually, it wasn't front heavy at all, and I was capable of using this combination for quite a long time without any real issue on my wrist or my shoulder or anything like that. It's a lens that you combine really well with small cameras such as, again, the ZF, but also in Sony the A7C line. And whenever it's gonna come for the L mount, a camera like the S9, this lens is not gonna make it uncomfortable to use any of those cameras. But where Viltrox has built themselves a reputation that is hard to beat is when it comes to the image quality compared to the price the lens is sold at, because this lens is sold at less than $300. This lens is super sharp, even wide open, corner to corner. You don't have to worry about the sharpness at all. It's a very well designed lens. Yes, you get some vignetting, but it's normal, but as you stop down, that goes away pretty easily. But besides that, sharpness is spectacular, and you only need to stop down because you want more depth of field, but not because you want a better performance of the lens in general. Even when it comes to chromatic aberration, this lens, as I said, is not an achromatic lens, but it doesn't matter. There's no chromatic aberration coming with this lens. So again, very well done from the Viltrox design team, because at this price point, having a lens that basically has no chromatic aberration is incredible. It's really incredible. Another area where Viltrox has improved a lot is in the control of flare and ghosting. This lens does incredibly well, but I'll show you more later. And also, the bokeh that you get out of this lens is really nice. It's very smooth, it's pleasing, it's not nervous, it doesn't distract from the center of the image, from the subject of the image. It's very good bokeh that is pleasing to see. And of course, Viltrox has never made lenses that focus super close. This is no exception, so you're not going to be taking any macro with this lens. But besides that, it's a lens that you can use at its maximum aperture, at its minimum focusing distance without any particular issue. Overall, from an image quality standpoint, there is nothing you can complain. And for a portrait lens in this price range, I don't think there's anything that can beat it. And speaking of portraits, yes, you can use this lens for other stuff, but at 85mm is a portrait lens. It's built for portraits. And in a professional shooting scenario where I use this lens and the ZF at sunset, you're seeing right now what I was getting. Both me and the model were stunned with what we were getting right out of the gate. I didn't edit these images that much. You're seeing the final product, but what I was showing to the model in the screen of the camera was very similar, and she was going crazy about it because this lens has great colors. Even when you stop it down, the bokeh is pleasing, is smooth, you don't have to worry about it, and in general, it was doing an incredible job. So for me, when it comes to the image quality in general, this lens is just spectacular. And even when it comes to autofocus, yes, this lens uses stepper motors compared to the faster linear motors that you can find in the Pro and the Lab series from Viltrox, but the autofocus is fast enough, not the fastest of the world, you gotta be honest there, but it's fast enough and especially is accurate to the point where you don't have to worry about it. Now, as I always say, with the ZF, I always miss a couple of shots here and there, and that's regardless of the lens that I'm using, so I can't fault the lens for that. But when it mattered, when I was shooting that professional shooting scenario, it never missed a bit. I had nothing to worry about. Yes, I missed a couple of shots, but because I accidentally moved the focusing area towards where there was no face, so the lens kind of went to the background. But that's my mistake. It's user error. It's not the lens's fault. So I can't complain about the autofocus with this lens either. And while this lens, in my opinion, is mostly a photographer's lens, it's no slouch when it comes to video either. Yes, it's got visible focus breathing that you need to be aware of, but usually when you're shooting with a lens like this, you don't go from minimum to infinity all the time. It's going to be distracting. So yes, it's an issue, but in real world usage, you don't deal with that much. And it's not stabilized, so you need to rely on the stabilization of either your camera or your gimbal, or you gotta put it on a tripod. But besides that, it focuses really well. The transitions are pretty smooth. And even when you're walking towards the camera, something where me telephoto lenses tend to struggle a lot, this lens does a pretty good job, actually way better than I would have expected. So despite not being probably made specifically for videographers, it's a lens that I would have no issue using in video at all. And so in conclusion, there isn't much more to say about this lens. It's very well built, lots of features, great image quality, very good autofocus, very good for video. Size and weight are not dramatically bad, they're actually pretty good. And so when you look at the fact that this lens costs less than $300, I don't think in the market there's anything that comes even close to what you can get out of this lens considering the whole package, meaning features, image quality, everything that I said before. Less than $300, this lens is one of the easiest recommendations that I've ever done on my channel. And again, I purchased this lens for myself. Viltrox doesn't even know that I'm making this video. I am so excited because this lens is actually that good. But I want to know what you think. Do you have this lens? How you use it? Do you like when you use it? Also, did I miss something in this video? Do you want to know more? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video, help me with the algorithm. Leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and stay tuned because when it comes to the EVO line, I am not done. I'm about to release the review for the 55mm f1.8 Apple, a review that is going to come hopefully soon, so stay tuned. Again, subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, and I believe that's it for today. Ciao, grazie, and I'll see you in the next one.